Happy Friday, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. It's Friday, as I mentioned, January 5th. Hope you're doing awesome. And in this video, we're going to be discussing 3 new MJ stocks that I added to my MJ portfolio this week. And let me know in the comment section below if you added any MJ to your MJ portfolio in 2024. Let me know what those MJ stocks were. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment, informational purposes only, my own thoughts and opinions, my game plan, and you should never ever buy anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. So we'll go over my 3 MJ stock picks, but again, this is not financial advice as always. And before we get to my 3 MJ stocks that I added to my tax-free savings account, my TFSA, make sure to give us a follow over on X as well, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So as I mentioned, I was holding off on adding more MJ positions until 2024 when I got that extra $7,000 worth of contribution room to my TFSA, which it grows tax-free, right? So I was okay buying a little bit higher prices if it meant I got to buy it in my TFSA and grow that tax-free. And then right now I've maxed out of that $7,000 extra contribution room. I've bought about 35% of that. So I still have 65% left. And I'll talk about some stocks that I'm going to look at and potentially add that's on my radar. But again, let me know in the comments section below if you added any MJ stocks, or if you're thinking about adding any MJ stocks, let me know what's on your radar. So the first one that I added a few days ago was SNDL. Very, very bullish on this name. And you know, there's a lot of differentiation between a lot of the Canadian companies as well and producers. And we're starting to kind of see, we kind of fizzled out all of the redundant companies. So I think SNDL is very, very different because, you know, they're into retail and MJ retail, alcohol retail. They've got, you know, a fully integrated business as well. But as you can see, a $420 million market cap. So I added this. Very, very bullish on this name, and we'll take a look at the chart in just a moment. But there's a key breakout level coming up, and it's going to be 171. If we get above 171, I think this thing is going to rocket, and I think it'll be at $2 in a hurry. I'm also in a day trade as well. I mentioned that in the past, but I added it 3 days ago to my tax-free savings account. So again, when I add to that long-term no-touch account, I am not selling it anytime soon, right? It's going to be multiple years until the US legalizes at the federal level, or until I'm financially enticed to do so. So this is more than likely going to be a multi-year hold, right? So I'm investing for the long term, and I may look to add 1 or 2 more times in SNDL. Probably won't be in my TFSA. I'll probably add it to my RSP once I max out my TFSA contribution room for 2024. And for those that aren't familiar with an RSP, it's just essentially a retirement account, right? So it grows tax-free, and then when you take it out, you get taxed. Whereas TFSA is after tax dollars, you put it in, and when you take it out, it's tax-free, right? So that was the first stock that I added. Second stock that I added a couple days ago was High Tide. Again, this is more just in MJ retail. So they're not franchised or anything like that, but they don't touch the plant. They're just focused on retail. And as we know, the store cap in Ontario is going up from 75 to 150. I've done a video on this and covered it extensively, and that's going to double their store count in Ontario. And they are just absolutely dominating the retail space. That's pretty much all where I shop at for MJ products is at High Tide at Cannabis, and then also Value Buds as well, which, you know, we have a business relationship. Nova MJ has a business relationship with SNDL. So I'm very bullish on High Tide. Like I said, they're very different businesses. High Tide's more focused on just the MJ retail, and they're not franchised, whereas SNDL's into alcohol as well, and you know, they got a bunch of different parts of their business that actually touches the plant as well. So from that perspective, I think High Tide is differentiated, has a very strong moat, and we're seeing great growth here from the company. And I think it's only the beginning. And just imagine once, you know, they get up to that 150 stores in Ontario and they continue to expand across Canada into the Atlantic provinces. And then imagine once they start to expand in the US, right? So much growth, it's not even funny in terms of High Tide. So that was the second company that I added. And the third company that I added yesterday was Cresco Labs, CL. And we've had over 20% of upside in the last couple of days since I added around 204. High Tide, I think I got it at like 171, and then SNDL I added and got it right around the same price, right around 160 Canadian, or sorry, that would have been US dollars on the NASDAQ. Same thing with high tide added on the Nasdaq. I usually add where the most of the volume is, where the liquidity is, right? So on Cresco, I added on the Canadian ticker. So I filled yesterday it was at 204, and today we closed at 242. So as you can see, this was my entry here yesterday at 204, and we're now up over 23%. This isn't a trade though. I'm not selling it anytime soon. So this is a long-term hold for me. And in my opinion, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, we're still yet to have confirmed a monthly uptrend. So we have our low, high, higher low, and we're looking for the monthly higher high to be back in a monthly uptrend. So we need that to be confident. We need weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull crosses, which we've already seen. And then we also need on the daily time frame golden crosses. So if we can see all three of those things happen on all MJ charts, we're going to be very confident that the bottom is in, and we had our golden cross here on CL as well. So we're just lacking one thing, and that is the monthly uptrend. So if CL were to confirm a monthly uptrend, that's a ton of upside just from current price levels. To confirm a monthly uptrend, we need to see another 60% of upside essentially from here. And then after that, we have a lack of price action resistance until about 134% of upside from here. But I think the risk versus reward is very, very high here with CL. If we, at my 204 entry, if we go back to all-time highs, that's about a 10x from here, right? So $1,000 investment, for every $1,000 you invest, that turns into $10,000 if it goes back to all-time highs. And as we know, we could see rescheduling. I think most likely going to get an update on that. I think the DA will sign off on it at some point in Q1, Q2 of this year. And then we should see 280E go away, and then these companies are going to absolutely skyrocket, right? Just that amount of money hitting their bottom line, it's going to create free cash flow on a lot of these businesses. We're going to see major bullish times ahead. And like I said, I think that's the catalyst that's going to knock us out of a multi-year bear market and potentially start a new multi-year bull market. And then uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, we saw TerraSend lead the way and then Cureleaf lead the way. So, we're seeing that trend where they're uplisting to, the Toronto Stock Exchange, the major Canadian exchanges, and then the next thing is going to be US major exchanges like the NYSE and the NASDAQ, right? So those are the three that I added. Let me know what you think of my three additions. And, I think there's a bunch of other options out there, that great options as well. I was going to add AYR. I was a little cheesed that I didn't add it a couple of days ago, because we've seen tons of movement on that one over the last couple of days. Just from the low 3 days ago, it's up over 30%. But again, still a bargain, right? If we just look where we are to where we've been, we could see 16x from here, just from where we are now to all-time highs, right? So I think this is another great name, especially with Florida potentially putting recreational MJ on the ballot for 2024. I did a video on this yesterday. They're inching closer. I think for sure, I'm close to 100% as confident as I can be that they're going to have that on the ballot for 2024. And then I think I think there will be an overwhelming support of majority in favor of. I think it's going to be somewhere 70 to 80% will be in favor of that. And then there was an article out today that basically, if Florida does approve it, if voters do approve it, they want to put a cap at 10%. I was like, what, THC? I was like, that is absolute stupidity. I don't think that's actually going to happen. There's no way, in my opinion. But yeah, maybe they take that Canada approach where they only allow flower, and then they do edibles in year 2, and then the 2.0, 1.0, 2.0 products, that could happen as well. Right now we still have a 10 milligram limit on the edibles here in Canada. They're looking to increase that to 10 milligrams, 100 milligrams from 10 milligrams. So I've done a video on that as well about the petition going around. But yeah, in terms of right now in my TFSA, I'm focusing mostly on the US producers, because I've already added a ton of the Canadian names to my TFSA. So I'm looking to diversify. And like I said, after rescheduling, we should see these names absolutely explode. So AYR is on my list. I might add that next week. I'll keep everybody posted. And then after I max out my TFSA, I'll probably do another update on my MJ portfolio holdings. And then another name that I'm looking at is Cureleaf. I'll probably add a bit more Cureleaf in my TFSA. I'm looking at GTII, but this is definitely one of the more, it's profitable. It's one of the larger companies. It's more of the safer bets like the IIPRs. But I mean, if we added right now at this price and we go back to all-time highs, that's only 216% of upside from here, right? It's not life-changing wealth, but like I said, it's probably a safe bet and surefire bet that, you're not going to lose all your money, basically. But I'm holding off on GTII. I just think there's better reward, risk versus reward out there. And I'm looking, I'm not here for taco gains. And MSOS, I think, has a big exposure to GTII, and I have a lot of MSOS. So I might just look to add MSOS, and then that way I get exposure to TrueLeave as well. I'm not really too keen on True Leaf because of all the negative articles and events that we've seen. Right, they had that person, that employee that died on the job, and heart goes out to the family, and then they're suing them essentially for wrongful death, cause of wrongful death, and they had the husband potentially ties to the mob, and then their CFO wrongly expensed like $300,000, if not more, potentially of wrong expenses. So I don't know. I don't have a great taste in my mouth when it comes to True Leaf, and I've got exposure through MSOS ETF. So I think that's good enough for me. I've got TerraSen on my radar, but not completely sold on that one either. You get your Planet 13s, but I'll keep everybody posted. I'm probably going to focus on MSOS, AYR, and then Cureleaf as my next additions. And again, I'll keep everybody posted on what I end up pulling the trigger on. But again, let me know what you think of this in the comment section below. If you agree with my additions, do you think that was a wise move? And do you think I should add more? And do you agree with my future additions that I'm looking to add as well? And then let me know what you've been adding and what's on your radar and what you're looking to add, if you're like me, into your TFSA, or if you're in the US or abroad in Europe, other parts of the globe. Let me know what you've got your eyes on. But going to end it there. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, smash like if you think I earned it today. Share the video. I would appreciate it. Subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or my future MJ portfolio breakdown video. I'll do an update on that here in 2024. All right, it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you again on the next video.